Hi guys, Bill again. Do you remember this?
We're going too late. Wow. That's not good.
Wow.
What's up, dude? Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Somebody's acknowledging you. She's an empty. Hey, get a phone. How are you this morning? Nice. Damn.
God bless. Sexy American Eagle.
That was part of a very short video highlighting the harassment that women go through every day. It took 10 hours of walking through some of the poorest areas of New York to generate about 2 minutes or so of footage. Now I've linked to the original below, as well as a video of a good looking fella attracting the same sort of harassment. Now his video only took about 3 hours to film. It had compliments from both sexes, and he didn't have to wander all over the city to get them. Yeah, sorry girls, even when it comes to the oppression Olympics, some things blokes are just better at doing, you know. Anyway, we all had a good chuckle. I mean, who would consider this to be harassment? Well, Melanie Jeffs, for starters. Now she says, understanding this as a hate crime will help people see the seriousness of these incidents and hopefully encourage more women to come forward and report offences. Men can fuck off, apparently, since there's ample evidence that they suffer at least as much verbal and physical attention. We're only left with a couple of alternatives. Now either wee Mel is a misandric, man-hating bitch, or she doesn't consider a male being verbally or physically accosted a matter worth her precious time. Either way, it's a blatantly sexist attitude to have, and it's one that's shared by Nottinghamshire police. They've decided to classify misogyny and harassment against women as hate crimes. I'll emphasise the fact that they've decided entirely of their own volition to come up with this classification. Well, with a little prod from the new Chief Constable. Now Sue Fish said, I'm delighted that we'll be leading the way towards tackling misogyny in all of its forms. It's a very important aspect of the overall hate crime work being conducted, and one that will make Nottinghamshire a safe place for all women. What women face, often on a daily basis, is absolutely unacceptable, and it can be extremely distressing. Nottinghamshire Police is committed to taking misogynistic hate crime seriously. Now, the force has just spent 3 months training officers and staff on misogyny, hate crime, and says that it covers incidents against women that are motivated by an attitude of a man toward a woman. Now, questionable grammar aside, can anybody else see the attempt to combine thought crime with everyday interactions to generate some kind of new sex crime? I mean, proving an incident happened is easy enough. You add an imputation of malice And you can turn a simple greeting, morning beautiful, you turn that into a hate crime. And hate crime is pretty serious business around these parts. Now you'll be delighted to know that Nottinghamshire Police have been working with Nottingham's Women's Centre on the subject, stating that the crime includes behaviour targeted toward a woman by men simply because they are a woman. Getting back to Mel, she says that we're pleased to see Nottinghamshire Police recognise the breadth of violence and intimidation that women experience on a daily basis in our communities. This is Nottingham she's fucking talking about. So what could be included as a misogyny hate crime? Well, they've got 6 in the articles that I've read so far. Incidents against women motivated by attitude of a man towards a woman. Unwanted or uninvited sexual advances. Physical or verbal assault. Unwanted or uninvited physical or verbal contact or engagement. The use of mobile devices to send unwanted or uninvited messages, and taking photographs without consent or permission. Now the thing is, the first one is just thought crime, pure and simple. I mean, how on earth can you know what somebody's attitude towards an individual or a demographic is? I mean, most people chop and change their attitude constantly. I mean, here in Britain, last week the Scots were ungrateful whingers. This week, well, we're great sportsmen making Britain proud. Thanks, Andy. We'll be back to being sponging wasters the next time that Sturgeon upsets the Tory press. It's just the way people are. For the next 3, we already have laws in place for them. They're not gender specific. Now that might be what the problem is. The last 2 are also covered by various laws, but it's rather worrying that our laws are quite close to very similar Canadian legislation. Might be worth asking Greg Elliott about how their interpretation by a prosecutor without a hate law to fall back on goes down. Look, this shite isn't funny anymore, people. Listen to what this police spokesman had to say when he was describing the new classification. They said unwanted physical or verbal contact or engagement is defined as exactly that, and so can cover wolf whistling and other similar types of contact. If the victim feels that this has happened because they're a woman, then we will record it as a hate crime. This doesn't necessarily mean that a criminal offence has been committed, but it does mean that we will carry out risk assessments and offer support as we would to any victim of a hate crime. Hate crime is the terminology used to record all incidents and crimes which the victim perceives to be motivated by prejudice. We take all reports of hate crimes extremely seriously. Now they should do, but pay close attention to the wording that they just used. If the victim feels like it, then the police will record the incident as a hate crime, even if no criminal offence has been committed. An individual can have a hate crime recorded against them just because a woman feels like accusing them. Note that there's a complete absence of any kind of impartiality, and note that there is no burden of proof required. If she feels like it's misogyny, if she feels like it, it fucking well is misogyny. Shitlord. Look, here's the thing. England already has laws to address harassment. Sections 4, 4A and 5 of the Public Order Act 1986 and Section 91 of the Criminal Justice Act of 1967, they make, amongst a great many other things, they make provision for charging someone who's using abusive words or behaviour. And the beauty of it is that the victim doesn't have to be the person who's been caused harassment, alarm or distress. Third parties can and do report harassment. The law of the land already protects genuine victims of harassment, even those ones who are unwilling or unable to report the abuse for themselves. So you've got to ask, why is there a new classification? Well, until recently, nobody gave a fat rat's arse that someone who is unable to accept a compliment with good grace, or who is daft enough to pay attention to knobheads playing up in front of their mates of any gender, was having a hissy fit about fuck all. Poppy Smart, and yet that is a real name. Poppy Smart actually went to West Mercia Police this April to report some workmen that she claimed wolf whistled at her. Now the police, the misogynist bastards, they refused to stop investigating petty crimes, like rape, murder, serious assault, theft. And they refused point blank to address this astonishing attack on a vulnerable young woman in broad daylight. I mean, obviously something had to change. She stamped her feet, for fuck's sake. Things are different down south. When Sue Fish, before she was the Chief Commissioner, when Sue Fish pocketed 71 big ones to hang around with the London Met for 6 months, back in 2001, there's a bit of consternation from the people in Nottingham that were forced to foot the bill. She went to the capital on a 6-month soiree in the same month that 70 Nottingham police officers were made redundant. Couldn't make it up. But it was all for a good cause. The police authority chairman, John Collins, said that he hoped her training could ultimately lead to a better career path for Mrs. Fish. And he added that basically the money that was spending on her training would be the same as she would normally get in salary. Our senior management costs are greater than they need to be for a force of our size. We're hoping that this gives Mrs. Fish the opportunity to pursue her career and get the promotion that she deserves. Well, it looks like she did just that. Trouble is, she brought London's progressive ideas back up north with her. I tell you what, I need a fucking lottery one. If I do win, I'm going to buy myself the first working Sabre and leave this fucking planet. Laters, guys.